question to ask is, blacks can go onto the beach, but can they own a shop on the beach? No. I'm not a white spokesman for the black community. I have no mandate. I'm not a politician. I'm an observer. When I was 16, 17, I went through a period, a phase in my life where I wanted to be black, very desperately, not for political reasons, for cultural reasons. There were certain things which I found very beautiful and very attractive. And later on, I found a way to integrate that into my life and to be a middleman, a marginal man, a man in between. And that is actually far more interesting. My first strong male figure was my stepfather, who was a journalist and a lover of African music. But the person who really gave me was a kind of a hero for me. My first hero was a Zoulou flat cleaner who worked around the corner from where I was living. He was a warrior, a dancer, guitarist as well. His name was Thierry Ardisson. He was the one who first taught me to play guitar and to dance. From her side, she was right. From her side, I would come home from school and I would disappear. On Tuesday night, Thursday night, Saturday and Sunday, I would be dancing. And any other time after school, if I saw any street musicians, I would disappear. So I had no normal family life, generally, because my stepfather was divorced, my mother was living alone, and I was the man in the house, but I was never there. I don't know whether the Jewish culture had anything to do with it. I don't think so, but my mother thinks so, but I don't think so. I think that there are many Afrikaans people in South Africa, brave people who have stood up against apartheid, who speak African languages and who have joined the struggle to dismantle apartheid. So I don't think there's anything in the Afrikaner psyche that is inherently brutal. I just think that they were denied the right experience. I was afforded the right, or a right experience. That's really what it is. I had lived in South Africa from the age of 7 till the age of about 9. And I went to a whites-only school. When I went to Zambia, I went to a non-racial school for 2 years, which was a shock for me. And that was the first indirect realization, experience of non-apartheid, which obviously exaggerated the experience of apartheid. And then when I went back to South Africa, when I was 11, it was quite a shock to go back into a white segregated school. That for me is basically, it's not a matter of a nigger lover. You know, I could like Italian culture or Eskimo culture. It doesn't really matter. It's that I found a home in a certain culture. And anybody can find a home. All cultures are human. And basically, I think that I like to get away from the black and the white. I like, in South Africa, I talk about just human cultures. And he was a very good guitarist. He was writing good material. And so I said to him, can I record what you're playing? And he said, what do you mean? And I said, well, I've got a machine that can take what you are playing and catch it. And he said, no. I said, no, there is a tape recorder. He had never seen a tape recorder before. So I brought in the tape recorder and he sang and I tape recorded the song, stopped it and I played it back and He jumped up and he said, "What is this?" And I said, "It's a tape recorder, and you know, you can buy one." He said, "Where can I buy one?" And I said, told him the shop. So he said, "Let me do it again." So I tape recorded a lot of songs because he was really excited about this. And then he told me to come to his place the next week. And when I arrived, he very proudly, he had bought a tape recorder, he had recorded a whole of songs, he gave me the cassette, he said, "There's some new songs." The mass democratic movement met with her and with some of her supporters and basically tried to discipline her and to bring her back into the movement. I think that everything is waiting pending the court case, because there hasn't been a court case yet. That's incorrect because we have archaeological evidence now of mining in Transvaal, which goes back to 600–700 AD. And we have in Mpangeni, we have now clear archaeological evidence that there were tribes living there 1,500 years ago. So you know, it's incorrect. You know, the South African industry is the most powerful in Africa, and obviously it employs people from Malawi, Mozambique, etc., etc. So clearly the standard of production and the standard of labor life is superior to the whole of the Southern African area. I don't know what, I think if you look at the Ivory Coast, we might have a problem. I think maybe if you look at Kenya, that you might have a problem. I don't know. But as for the rest of Africa, definitely, I think yes. I think the South African government is aware of the present euphoria in the media about Eastern Europe and the dramatic changes that are happening there. And it wants to ride the wave of optimism. The changes that have taken place and will be taking place at a social level. That is, on the beaches, hotels, restaurants, etc., which does not in any way endanger power and doesn't involve a power transfer of power. We still have economic apartheid and we still have political apartheid. The question to ask is, blacks can go onto the beach, but can they own a shop on the beach? No. My statements and my perceptions are entirely my own. I'm not connected to anybody, any organization or any party or any group of people. It's purely an artist and cultural activist who is looking and trying to make sense of what's going on around him. I won't be on any side. I think that it depends what kind of power you're talking about, because there are many different models that are being circulated. The dominant model is one man, one vote in a united South Africa, but there's another model of a federated South Africa. There are many different models circulating. I personally support the first one, a united South Africa, universal franchise. I think that it's clear that whites will still have a very, very powerful and dominant position in the economy, and therefore indirectly in the politics. So, and the ANC and other black organizations are aware that the banishment of whites from Mozambique, from Zimbabwe, and other countries was devastating for those countries, and they are very concerned to keep the whites there. The ANC executive has got whites on it. You know, we are talking about a non-racial kind of South Africa. Yes, I think that's an important It's an important, the master and the slave are bound together in a very, very intimate, negative dialectic.
Et pour être sûr de ne rien rater de Arditube, abonnez-vous et mettez un pouce bleu.